What key cases define human shield legality? Imagine a war zone where civilians are used as shields to protect military targets. This practice raises serious questions about legality and human rights. Let's look at some key cases that clarify the rules around using human shields in armed conflicts. One important case is Demirey versus Turkey from the European Court of Human Rights in 2001. In this case, security forces used an individual as a human shield. The court ruled that this violates the right to life under the European Convention on Human Rights. It emphasized that authorities have a duty to protect people from being used in this way. This case made it clear that using human shields is not allowed in security operations or armed conflicts. Another significant case is Prosecutor versus Karadzic and Mladic from the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia. Here, the tribunal found that using United Nations peacekeepers as human shields to protect military targets from NATO airstrikes was a war crime. This case set a strong precedent that using protected persons to shield military objectives is a serious violation of international humanitarian law. The Blaszczak case, also from the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, further clarified the issue. It ruled that using protected detainees as human shields violates the Geneva Conventions, even if the shields are not harmed. The court explained that the law aims to protect individuals from harm, whether or not they are actually attacked. It also stated that the victim's awareness of being used as shields is not necessary for the act to be illegal. The case of Naletilik and Martinovic involved charges related to using human shields as part of broader war crimes. This case reinforced that human shielding is an outrage against personal dignity and a violation of international humanitarian law. Legal instruments like the Geneva Conventions and their additional protocols also prohibit using civilians to shield military targets. Specifically, Article 51, Paragraph 7, of Additional Protocol 1 states that directing civilians to act as shields is forbidden. The International Committee of the Red Cross confirms that this rule is part of customary international law, applying in both international and non-international armed conflicts. Some countries, like the United States, have criminal laws that also prohibit the use of human shields. The Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, although not explicitly mentioning human shielding, covers acts that include using civilians to shield military objectives. In summary, these cases and laws make it clear that using human shields is illegal under international humanitarian law. It puts civilians and protected persons at risk and is considered a war crime. The courts have consistently upheld that parties in conflict must avoid such practices and hold violators accountable.